everybody, we're here today on the west side of the house. That's the side of the house that gets the most heat. It starts cooking from about 1 o'clock to about 6 in the evening, and then after that, you know, you get into dusk and it's a lot cooler temperatures. But for those 5 hours, it basically, it'll burn out a lot of things. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go down the hedge, our side here. We're in zone 8A regionally. So if you don't know your horticultural zone, make sure to look that up. You can Google it, Google horticultural zones, and it'll come up. Just look where you're at. We wanted to go down the hedge here and kind of show you guys what are some things that we've planted in this area that have just really worked. There's a lot of options in this that aren't just cactuses like what you would think, but just, you know, rocking cactus. You can get actually a lot of leafy evergreens and a lot of things that flower throughout the season. Pollinator gardens are very easy to do. This isn't the video that we wanted to show you because of how much we've lost due to the snowstorm and the ice that we had back in February here in Texas. And so we've lost quite a bit. We've lost, I think, 9 viburnum here. It was copper-top viburnum. It's kind of taught me a lesson of like planting so many of one thing in a row. You want to kind of divide, like mix up your plants, and I won't ever do that to where I'll have so many that are only cold hardy to so much. We will mix it up going forward. What else do we have going on here? We also have deer issues in the front of our house. Like we have packs of deer that wander this neighborhood. If they found something they like, it's gone within 24 hours. So it's very difficult for us to plant a lot of the flowering things that we want to, but there are still options out there. We wanted to kind of share those things with you and what we've come across, what works, because I've looked for a lot of this information and a lot of it's not out there. So we want to bring that to you and make sure that we'll kind of like do our part and add to the wealth of knowledge that's out there. Is there anything else I want to talk about real quick? I don't think I can think of anything right now. So anyway, let's get started with going down the plants. We'll start right back here. This bright yellow one is a sunshine ligustrum. And sunshine is I wouldn't say it's the most deer hardy plant out there. They tend to stay off of it mostly. Traffic coming through. Sorry about that. But if you get a large enough one starting off, it'll outgrow the deer getting it, especially in a protected space like it is here. That's really what's the most important about it. If this was out in the open, they would probably get at it pretty hard. Not enough to kill it, but enough to make it not worth your time. Let's say this here is autumn sage. Now this is bulletproof. The deer may nibble on it, but to sample it, but they're going to get out of there quick. It's very aromatic, smells, lingers on your hands when you touch it. It's great. Pollinators love it. I see hummingbirds all the time now. I see butterflies. It's a great plant. Autumn sage. This one is lipstick, and I really enjoyed that. This here is a new transplant. Actually, we just did that yesterday. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's a type of prairie sage called Artemisia. Pretty excited about it. A friend of mine just gave it to me, and it gets pretty good size and really nice. Should be pretty deer hardy, deer resistant. Here we have society garlic. I planted that because the garlic is supposed to be pretty deer resistant, and it has been. We've had it here for a year now, and it comes back. They take a few of the blooms, and the blooms are pretty much spent by this time. They keep shooting up throughout the year, but most of your blooms are going to come up at the beginning of spring. But we'll be able to separate that next year and be able to plant more and then have it continue growing and fill this whole section up. But it's really it has a really pretty flower to it. I do like it a lot and recommend it in a garden, especially with deer and in a full sun area. This is a Kaleidoscope Abelia. Kaleidoscope Abelia is a really cool plant. Abelias in general are very cool. This one grows with the new like red variegation you can kind of see here, and it has just like a lot of multiple colors. This actually weathered through the storm pretty nicely. as well as the sunshine and these two being evergreens, they're not deciduous, so they don't really go to sleep. But when they came through the freeze, this one really, went almost to the ground, were dead. So now at this point we're the 1st of June, and it's come back quite well. The Ligustrum was just thin mostly, but it bounced back relatively quickly as well. Moving on, we have more autumn sage, some annuals here. This is some pansies. Why the deer have left them alone and they got that big, I don't know. But the deer do like to eat pansies and petunias. I haven't been able to keep a lot of them around. We have some woodland sage here. The deer, this is also deer proof here. The deer do not like sages or salvias. I highly recommend it, especially in the full sun area. It has to be full sun. This is a crepe myrtle here. This is a bushing variety. It comes out, it has a nice pink flowers later in the summer, and it'll flower throughout the late summer, like most crepes do. It was hit really hard and went all the way to the ground, and here it is now. It's probably back up to a little over a foot tall now at this point. Some more autumn sage. We do the autumn sage. We love it because the deer hate it, and it has such a long-lasting flower. Some of these are not flowering right now. I had to deadhead them because they are transplants. Probably not even, haven't even been here a month, a few weeks really. From another friend of mine. Big shout out to him for giving me a bunch of plants. That's the best way I like to get plants, guys. It's free from other gardeners. That's because it costs you a fortune to do your place, especially when you have deer eating them. You can't. It's a lot of money to feed the deer. So I suggest getting in circles of other gardeners and swapping plants and growing interesting things. We have more Abelia. I've duplicated quite a bit in this hedge here. We hope to eventually form it out to be quite a bit more diverse, especially with more foundational hedges going in. If you guys have any ideas, put them in the comments, and we'll give them a shout. We'll give them a shot. We'll try them. We'll see what will work and what won't work. This right here is probably one of our favorite and most, and the deer won't mess with it. Absolutely. This is a Summertime Blues Vitex. Any Vitex is absolutely deer proof. Like, there isn't, I don't think I've ever seen any damage to this at all from the deer. It's scented just like a sage would be scented. Leaves the oil is left on your hand after touching it, and it just, the deer do not like it. As you can see, it's gone crazy, and this is a bush one. Only gets maybe 4 to 6 foot tall, 4 to 6 wide. So it's it's at its flowering point here, and here pretty soon we're probably gonna, we're definitely gonna hedge this up to be more of a tree form, tertiary type bush. Kind of the idea I've got going for it. So we'll shoot a video on that and how we go about doing that later. And then we have the top, to finish it off, like you can see why we want to trim it up is because it's just covering up all of our dusty millers, the rest of the flowering. We have petunias here. Now the petunias do get hit on occasion by the deer, but they flower fast enough that we get to enjoy them before the deer hit them. So they do the deadheading for us. So I do plant them, but about this time they'll be getting a little bit too warm going into the season, so they may not do so well later in the summer. And that, guys, that is basically our west wall, and kind of how we've been, what we've done with it to this point. But if you have anything, like any suggestions or anything, we'd love the feedback. So give us a shout. We appreciate it. Thanks.